Hello everyone. Today I would like to talk to you a little bit about why everyone who receives public assistance should be drug tested. I also would like to talk to you about, if we do drug test everyone, how this can ensure that the funds given out will be for families in need. And lastly, this may actually also encourage people to go back to work. I grew up in an impoverished neighborhood, and I have seen with my own eyes people spend their welfare to purchase drugs. I've known people to come up to me and ask if I would like to buy their food stamps in order for them to purchase drugs, and throughout the month do little odd jobs around the neighborhood to support their habit. So this leaves me with my main point. If you can afford to buy drugs, then you don't need public assistance. According to US Weekly, in the past 5 years, $3.7 trillion have been given out in welfare. And this number is 3 times the 797 million that has been given out for education, NASA, and transportation all together. According to the government spending report, it is projected that in 2014, $80 billion will be given for food stamps assistance. Another $529 million will be given out for welfare, and an additional $102 million for public housing. It is said that 8% of our nation are drug users. Out of that 8%, 3.6% were denied government assistance because they failed their pre-screening drug tests. So if we drug test everyone who requests food stamps, or test everyone that's already on it when they go to recertify, this can help save the country money. And if the government saves money, then taxpayers will save money. In Utah, in 2012, they spent $31,000 on paying for drug tests, but they saved $370,000 from the people that they turned down who did not pass their drug screening. Now this brings me to my next point. If we drug test everyone that requests public assistance, then we can ensure that the funds given out are for families in need. How is this? Well, if drug users know that in order to receive public assistance, they have to first pass a drug test, this will discourage them from applying for government assistance. And if the people that are already receiving public assistance know that before they can recertify, they too have to pass a drug test, this will either discourage them from reapplying or encourage them to get off drugs. Now that we talked about why everyone should be drug tested, let's talk and how this could help ensure that the money spent are for families in need. The last thing I would like to talk to you about is how this can help get people back to work. Unfortunately, there are people out there that cannot pass a pre-screening employment drug test because they use drugs. So they go and get on public assistance in order to support their family. Everyone needs money in order to survive. So if drug users know that they cannot support their habits with government assistance funds, then this will encourage them to go out and get a job, and who knows, maybe to quit altogether. Before I open the floor to any questions, I would like to say this in closing. Public assistance is for families in need. And as I stated before, if you can afford to support your drug habit, then you do not need public assistance. There are 12 states that have already implemented that you have to take a drug test. However, they only administer the drug test if you do not pass their pre-screening survey. This should not be the case. Every state, every applicant should have to take a drug test. This will save us money, time, and help in our economy. Let's do what we can to make it a law that you are required to take a drug test before passing out government assistance. Now, trust me, I am not saying that everyone that gets public assistance uses drugs, because I know that is not the case. And in this economy today, there are plenty of families that do need help. I'm just saying, let's make sure the funds are given to those families in need and not people trying to support their habit. And if we can test people for pre-employment, then we should be able to test people before they receive public assistance. Now that I've said all that, are there any questions? Question 1.
Do you think the deficit of the country would come down by implementing drug testing?
I do, because as long as the government is saving money, as I've said, I mean, $3.7 trillion is a lot. So if we can cut that number even by a little bit, then I do believe our country can save money. Any other questions?
Do you believe that people will feel humiliated by having to take this drug test?
I don't believe so, because it is always going to be your choice to go down and request for public assistance. So given that it is your choice, if you know that you are using drugs, then you shouldn't apply for public assistance. And if you're not using drugs, then you have nothing to worry about. And again, you have to take a drug test in order to apply for most jobs. So if it's not humiliating for them, then it shouldn't be humiliating for you. It's only to make sure that you are not a drug user. It's not to humiliate anyone. Are there any more questions? All right. Thank you for listening.